Today we're diving into the shocking technologies of the ancient kingdom from over 800 years ago, as well as the mysteries of the legendary Iron Giant. Within the OnePiece lore, this ancient kingdom is believed to have had technology far more advanced than even what we have today. A major testament to this? The legendary Iron Giant that appeared in the Holy Land Marie Joie about 200 years ago. Believe it or not, this giant was actually crafted in that kingdom over 900 years ago, and it's thought to have been powered by some kind of ancient energy. The theories and info I'll be sharing in this video are hot topics that many fans passionately debate. If you find yourself nodding in agreement with any of these insights, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And hey, if you've got any theories or ideas of your own sparked by what I've shared, drop them in the comments below. Love hearing from you guys. Just a heads up, this video does contain spoilers up to the most recent episodes, so tread with caution. Alright, without further ado, let's get into it. Now, we're talking about a massive kingdom that flourished over 800 years ago, but has since fallen, leaving hardly any information behind. It's said that this mysterious nation had chemical prowess, even greater than Dr. Vegapunk's scientific island, Egghead. The evidence? That would be the legendary Iron Giant that appeared in the Holy Land Marie Joie about 200 years ago. This high-tech robot, which Dr. Vegapunk still can't replicate, was amazingly manufactured over 900 years ago in that massive kingdom. The legendary Iron Giant attempted to attack the Holy Land Marie Joie, but stopped shortly after appearing due to a lack of energy. Why? Because it was powered by what could be called ancient energy, a lost technology of modern times. Dr. Vegapunk, with his goal of a world where energy is freely available to all, discovered that every time he studied ideal energy, he came closer to this ancient energy. And that means getting closer to the truth of the Void Century. This led to Dr. Vegapunk being targeted by the world government for digging too deep into history. So what on earth is this ancient energy that the world government wants to hide? Even if it means casting aside the world's greatest scientist, Dr. Vegapunk. Various theories about the true nature of ancient energy have been proposed, but today we'll focus on the idea of an artificial sun. It's a possibility that in the world of One Piece, an artificial sun existed in the area before the Void Century. In chapter 1065, through Punk 02, Evil Lilith's remarks, we have come to understand what purpose the research was for. The power of this island is fire. Fire can be converted into all forms of energy. If there were an everlasting flame in this world, it could be used to create the sun, is what was said. The idea that fire can be converted into all forms of energy is easily understood in the real world too, if you think of it as thermal power generation. However, to continually generate thermal power, the resources to create the fire are indispensable, aren't they? That's why Dr. Vegapunk has been searching what to burn, and has been thinking about creating an everlasting flame that doesn't consume resources. And with this unquenchable flame, you could create an artificial sun that would continuously produce energy almost indefinitely. Considering these facts, it seems natural to think that massive kingdom succeeded in developing the artificial sun that Dr. Vegapunk aims to create. And if this artificial sun was indeed the ancient energy that powered the legendary Iron Giant, then everything connects. I would like to introduce another consideration that you should keep in mind as a premise. It's the theory that devil's fruit is an artificial object. Has the devil's fruit been artificial or natural? This debate has been around since the early serialization of One Piece. But considering the information revealed in the latest chapters, the impression that the devil's fruit is an artificial object has significantly increased. In chapter 1069, Dr. Vegapunk says the devil's fruit is the possibility of human evolution that someone wished for. How nice it would be if it became like this. The future of humanity that spans various fields is an ability. In other words, the devil's fruit is something born from human desire, he asserts. Furthermore, about the weakness of those with abilities, Dr. Vegapunk explains, therefore, its unnaturalness exists, bearing the punishment of being hated by the sea, the mother of nature. Since it has been asserted that those with abilities are unnatural, it is difficult to claim that the devil's fruit is natural. Wouldn't it be reasonable to think that the devil's fruit was created by the technology of a certain huge kingdom? If all the devil's fruit were created by the scientific power of a certain huge kingdom, then of course the human fruit model, Nika, is also an artificial object. In other words, the scientist of a certain huge kingdom had succeeded in artificially creating the sun god Nika. When you think about it again, doesn't the name sun god Nika feel a bit strange? Certainly, Luffy can perform fire-based attacks, but the human fruit model Nika is more about the nature of rubber, right? During the battle with Kaido, he also used lightning attacks, using techniques unrelated to the sun, such as rubber and lightning, and not displaying any abilities clearly identifiable as the sun. Sometimes he uses flames, but it's not so immense as to call it sun. If you were to describe Luffy's ability as sun, the flame fruit or glint fruit seem much more sun god-like. So why has this ability, not specialized in flames or light, been given the name of sun god? Here, pay attention to Luffy's line when he first awakened his ability. I can do everything I wanted to do. From this line and the freedom of his Gear 5 fighting style, there may be the possibility that the essence of Sun God Nika is the ability to turn imagination into reality. Kaido described the Gear 5 fighting style as just like a fairy tale. But since Luffy is fighting as he imagines, it's natural that his movements resemble a fairy tale. If Sun God Nika really has the ability to turn imagination into reality, perhaps the previous Sun God Nika created an everlasting flame with this power, and that everlasting flame was used as the core of the artificial sun. At first glance, the reason this seemingly unrelated ability to the sun has been given the name Sun God may be that this power was indispensable for the birth of the artificial sun. Without Sun God Nika, a certain huge kingdom's artificial sun could not have been realized. Once there existed an artificial sun, created by the power of Sun God Nika and the scientific prowess of a certain huge kingdom in the world. And from there, if what was obtained inexhaustibly was the ancient energy, various foreshadows would be connected. However, as can be seen from the fact that the legendary Iron Giant stopped moving due to energy shortage, the artificial sun has been lost in modern times. It was probably destroyed during the war that occurred during the Void Century. It was likely destroyed by what corresponds to the roots of the world government, the United Nations Army. The weapons of a certain huge kingdom were likely designed to rely on the energy of the artificial sun. Therefore, it could have been a strategy to cut off the energy supply by destroying the artificial sun. Why did a certain huge kingdom, which should have had super powerful weapons like the legendary Iron Giant and ancient weapons bearing the name of the sun god, lose? One can imagine that it was because the energy source, the artificial sun, was destroyed and most of the weapons became unusable. Or perhaps the previous sun god Nika died in battle with the United Nations Army and the artificial sun created based on that ability stopped. That possibility can also be considered. Either way, the artificial sun that a certain huge kingdom relied on disappeared without a trace. Of course, in the world of One Piece, the real sun still exists. However, since the legendary Iron Giant doesn't move the ancient energy created by the artificial sun, this energy should be considered a completely different thing from the so-called solar energy. Ancient energy is not something that can be produced by the real sun, but a different kind of energy that can only be obtained from an artificial sun imbued with the power of sun god Nika. Therefore, at the moment the artificial sun disappeared, the certain great kingdom must have been left without any options. Symbolizing such history, the word dawn is repeatedly used in the work. Pedro refers to Luffy and his friends as those who lead the world to dawn, and the samurai of the Wano country were fighting, believing that the dawn will surely come. Also, Yamato told Momonosuke, "You are the one to lead the world to dawn." Furthermore, Toki Kozuki left a death poem, starting with "The moon knows not of dawn." In other words, since the loss of the artificial sun, for hundreds of years, the world has remained in night. The dawn that the Mink tribe and the people of Wano country desire may be the era when the sun god Nika revives and the artificial sun rises again. In a sense, what Dr. Vegapunk aims for, a world where energy freely reaches everyone, is indeed the world of dawn. That's all for today. If this hypothesis is correct, a way for the Straw Hat Pirates to escape from